Welcome to the episode of Locked In. In this episode, I'm going to be doing my full review of the Outershell half frame bag. If you're looking for a well-built, extremely versatile half frame bag that's offered in 3 different sizes, this video is for you, and please stay tuned and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the specs and features of the half frame bag, tell you everything about it, all the different options, as well as price, installation, and my final thoughts. So let's go over the specs and features of the Outershell bag. So as far as specs for this bag, they are offered in 3 different sizes, ranging from 1.9 liters that you see here in the small, all the way up to 3.5 liters. They are going to have the same mounting options that I'll be going into later. It does feature 2 full-length zippers on the drive side, as well as the non-drive side. It is offered in a multitude of colors in this Cordura, which is rated for water resistance, but they do have an X-Pack option that does increase the price by $10. So now let's get into the mounting options for this bag. It is supplied with all the Velcro you see here, as well as an additional piece that would normally be put on the rear that I never used, so I did take off. So you're gonna have 3 mounting options for the down tube, so you can appropriately place this strap that they provide here. Then as far as the top tube goes, you have 3 positions here on the front. This is gonna basically be great if you do run a top tube bag of either theirs or a different brand, so that you can strategically place this strap here. I really do like this feature because interference of this strap on other bags that have integrated straps is potentially an issue depending on your frame, if you're switching between frames, and I have had that issue if you're running a strap-on top tube bag and a strap-on half frame or full frame bag. Then the middle strap is going to be an integrated unit. Again, this usually doesn't have any interference with the bag, and it does create a really secure fit. So I do like that they integrate this in the center. Then on the back here, you're gonna have 2 different options. This is gonna be great if you are running a jerry can or a little bag that's gonna sit between your seat post and your top tube, again, allowing you versatility. Then you have a loop on the back here for wrapping around to the seat tube. I never used this loop, even though this actually didn't touch all the way to my seat tube on my Cobalt Warhawk. So they do provide that, which is a great, nice stability feature. If this was really, really loaded, especially in the bigger sizes, I think I probably would run that just for stability and sway, but I never had that issue when riding it. Lastly, you do have a strap mount for the front of the frame bag, again, for an anti-sway feature. You could run a paracord in this if you wanted, but they do provide another Velcro strip. Again, this is how I actually had it set up for my 550-mile ride from San Francisco to LA. In this exact setup, fully loaded, had no issues with it swaying or getting out of hand to where I felt like I should have put another strap on there. So it's extremely overbuilt, which is great, especially for this. And again, in the bigger sizes, I think you might utilize those extra straps more often than I would. Going into the interior of the bag, it's a nice light color, so it's easy to find everything. You can feel that this bag is foam coated on the inside, so it helps with not hearing anything rattle if it's not fully loaded. As well as you do have this nice convenient little teeny flap here, so you can hide credit cards or smaller items that you want quick access to so you don't lose them inside the main compartment of the bag. You have a really great zipper that I never had any issues with opening or closing while on the ride, again for 550 miles with dirt, debris, and even rain. And on the non-drive side, you're going to see here that you have basically a segmented pocket. This is great for items that you want quick access to regularly and you don't have to dig for either on or off the bike. So now I have used this on a myriad of rides. Again, I have almost 1,500 miles on this bag already. So what I put in it constantly changes, but it's lived on my bike pretty much permanently, and that's why it's still dirty, as you see it here, because I use it honestly almost every ride that I go out on my Cobalt Warhawk. So the range of options that I put in this does vary, and I don't want to make this a 30-minute video, but essentially on the non-drive side pocket, if I was doing a regular bike ride, not this big bike tour, I would typically just have my quick snacks that I want to be able to eat while riding. On the main compartment, I'm going to put it in there my larger food items, and then maybe some gloves, a jacket, my GoPro with the bike mount on there so I can easily pull it out to film vlogs or any content that I do need for this channel. And even with this taper design, you really can fit quite a bit. So I'm going to show you me stuffing it fully. The only thing you really have to think about with this shape is obviously putting smaller items near the back, and that's really it. The bigger frame sizes are more squared off, which is going to be great for storage, but since I run a compact geometry frame and since my down tube bottle is set a little bit higher than most gravel bikes, I wanted the tapered design so it would fit on all my frames no matter what size it is. And since I had the bottle taller and I didn't want to put a bracket on it to lower it, I went with this design, and I'm happy that I did. So to give you an idea of how much you can kind of fit in this visually, I'm going to show you me stuffing it with basically just a lot of food. So I have a lot of fruit snacks here. We got some cookies, got a Cliff Bar, a fig bar, a set of gloves, and my salt pills. So this is pretty well stuffed. I could probably fit a little bit more in here, but this is a good representation of just the kind of volume. So this would be a lot of food and enough. I could probably fit a bag of trail mix in here, some nuts in the front as well. And then again, I still have this full zipper pocket, which I could put some other items in. The only thing is, if you are wanting to put your cell phone in the non-drive side pocket in this small size, I wasn't able to do it even with my iPhone 12. So keep that in mind, that the bigger size is gonna be more conducive for a bigger cell phone if you want to keep that, just because of the tapered form factor of this bag. But it does work and fit in the main compartment. So when mounting this, the only thing that I definitely would say is, if you are mounting it, make sure that both the zippers are zipped. I know that sounds funny, but if the bag's open, it can deform a little bit more when you're mounting it. Then simply place your straps on. Now, usually the rear strap and the middle strap you'll have no issue for, but the front strap, if you are running a top tube bag, you do want to make sure obviously this is positioned correctly. You're going to cinch all those down. Then I like doing the down tube strap last. This is going to basically help your swaying of the bag. Now, if you can load the bag out before doing this, I think you're going to get a better secure fit and have less sway, especially when the bag's fully loaded. So I would definitely recommend doing this part last. So now let's get into price. These are a handmade in the United States, in California bag, and they start at $80, and they're only $90 if you get an X-Pack material version. So let's get into my final thoughts. I am a huge fan of the frame bag, and I do honestly like this smaller size, even though I ride a 56 centimeter. Now again, if my Cobalt Warhawk had the bottle lower on the seat tube, I probably would have gone with the medium, but I still think that this is a very versatile bag, and I wanted to test out the small size because this has to be the most versatile bag that they offer, because again, smaller riders, the hardest part that they have is finding a frame bag that works, especially with water bottles mounted, either one or two. So I think this is a very versatile, very ingenious design with how they tapered it. It works well, and the only difference, honestly, even on my 56 frame, was basically about 1.5 to 2 inches of gap. And so if I was gonna get a fully custom bag to really maximize that area of the frame, I'd probably be spending a lot more money for, again, a few inches of bag space. I'd rather save the money, honestly, and go with something like this. So I don't think that you'd be disappointed with this bag. I've been really happy. Again, I put a ton of miles on it. There is no issues with the seams or any kind of show of wear. And again, I put this thing through its paces with the 1,500 miles, and again, through that trip with rain and a bunch of dirt and gravel rides on here. So the build quality so far after this many miles, top notch, cannot recommend enough. The only thing I would say that isn't necessarily a dislike, but I did notice, is every once in a while, these little plastic caps right here would actually tap on my carbon frame, and I thought it was like a creaking noise or something somewhere else. So the only thing I would say for these is I do like that they're hardened plastic, so they last a lot longer and they're easier to pull, but they do tap and make a little bit of noise on my down tube, but that's just me and just a little idiosyncrasy that I noticed when I was out on the bike. But again, not a fault to not buy the bag because of that. So that's it for my review. If you want to check out this bag and all the other great Outershell products that they do offer, check the link in the description below, as well as leave a comment of, do you run an Outershell bag? Which one is it? I really want to review some more of their other products, so shoot me a comment below of which ones you want to see me review or which ones you've tested for yourself that you really do enjoy. It really does help me on choosing the next bag from them. Lastly, if you want to help support the channel, please make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on, as well as you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, as well as you can pick up some Slow But Look Pro merch on my Spreadshirt, as well as support me on Pateron. Everything else really does help so I can pump out some more content every single week on this channel. And lastly, thanks for watching this episode of Locked In.
Let's get locked in today. Like tutorials and quick and